So our first question is about the Jets. Okay. And our second question is about the Dolphins.
Let me get to your Dolphins question first. Chad Henne's numbers are going to go up because of Brandon Marshall. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Brandon Marshall's numbers are going to – he may not catch 100 balls this year, but he'll catch 80, and he'll definitely have 1,000 yards.
Yes.
Probably 10 touchdowns. Who else is going to catch touchdowns for those guys? They're going to run touchdowns.
Right.
The only thing holding him back from having a higher ceiling, Brandon Marshall, is the fact that he's going to see double teams when they do throw to him. And he can handle that. And also when they run Wildcat, how are they going to use him in the Wildcat? That's an interesting proposition. Now that they have a big receiver like him to target in the Wildcat, it should be very interesting to see what they do with the passing version of the Wildcat.
Okay, and I can answer your Jets question.
There you go.
The receiver that will benefit the most from everything is Jericho Cotchery.
I agree.
It may be kind of shocking at first, but the other receivers are home run hitters, and he's your guy that is going to surprise you because he's going to get 10 receptions in a game, and he might not have an 80-yard bomb that hits his face mask like certain receivers, but he'll actually catch the ball. So I believe that Cotchery's the guy you want, but everybody else is a little more sexy, but he's the guy you want.
I would say Edwards is, of the three, if that's your question, between Cotchery, Edwards, and Santonio Holmes. I think Holmes is going to finish with better stats because he's a better wide receiver than Braylon Edwards, more consistent. Braylon Edwards is on a contract year.
Right.
He may be playing, he's playing for a contract, but I think he's going to finish as the number 3 out of those 3 guys.
Plus, they have Dustin Keller. There's a lot of places where the ball needs to go, but Sanchez definitely has a confidence with Cotchery
Of course.
that he doesn't have with the other guys because he hasn't worked with them enough. But thank you for the call, Elvin.
I have one more thing now.
No, thank you for the call. Thank you for the call. He wanted Santonio Holmes. How are we going to answer a question about Santonio Holmes when he's not playing?
For the first 4 weeks.
So what are you going to do? Wait in the weeds in your draft and get him very late, like people did with Michael Crabtree last year.
That's right.
So basically, just sit and wait. Sit and wait.
Where do I have him? Here. I think I have a number.
Do him a favor.
I'll do him a favor. 8th, 9th round.
Yeah, but I would wait even later. You know?
Yeah, I would say. That's where guys are going to get him. You would have to spend a 4th round pick on him normally.
Yeah.
So he's dropped to the 8th or 9th round.
All right, Heath, we're going to move on with more ugliness. But before we do that, we have an opportunity that has presented itself to us.
I'm excited by it.
Yes.
I really am.
Buffalo Wild Wings is the place where you need to hold your fantasy football draft.
We're going to do it.
Yep, and the terminology we use there is table gating, okay? You get $100 worth of beverages and food and that kind of stuff.
On a future visit.
Yes.
Which I found out.
Right. You got to read the fine print.
That's right.
But you get free Wi-Fi access, and they actually give you a draft kit. So you can actually have your draft, eat your food, have fun, and not worry about your friend's ottoman or the little doilies that his girlfriend's aunt made that you might have put your drink on without a coaster. So you have to hold your draft at Buffalo Wild Wings. It's a must for any fantasy football fan of this program or in the world in general. Now, I don't want to get ill, but you do have another ugly for me?
I do. Darius Hayward Bay.
Ugh.
I said before that Eddie Royal was the worst starting wide receiver in in fantasy last year. Well, the only reason that's the case is because Darius Hayward Bay didn't start all 16 games.
On a technicality.
It's really he had 9 catches last year. 9 catches for 19 fantasy points. This is a first-round draft pick taken ahead of Michael Crabtree, who everyone was like, this guy is the number 1 wide receiver in the draft. And, yes, some of it is quarterback play. He's drinking the purple drunk or whatever that thing is.
It's good. I mean, I don't know. I never had it. But
I know, me neither. But, they tell me about it on the television. And, he had a bad quarterback. I get it, and
still.
But he was just an unmitigated rookie bust.
9
catches. He only caught 9 balls.
How many games are there in a football season?
There are 16 games in an NFL football season.
9.
Wow. So now, having said that, he's put on 10 pounds in the offseason. Right?
Maybe he should have put on 9.
9 pounds, yeah. He looks like a changed man in camp. Everyone says he's catching everything around him. It's a complete 180. It sounds like the LaShawn McCoy story, who was also, I feel, an unmitigated rookie bust because he didn't do what he said he was going to do. He didn't do what he promised he was going to do for those fans, right?
Yeah, but do you know that we are an international show and that 9 means no in German? So should we not pick him in the draft this year? 9? You're saying,
9.
Are you saying 9 or no, or what the hell are you saying?
I'm saying that he's a high-risk, high-reward player.
Okay.
Just like LaShawn McCoy, right? Okay. If you believe these reports that you read in the preseason and OTAs, but I would look at him. Ocular proof. There's no substitute for ocular proof. If he has any kind of rapport with Jason Campbell and they look good, then they want him to succeed. They've given him all this money. He's a first-round pick. He's got wheels. If he can improve his hands and he's catching footballs, and they say he caught everything thrown near him in the OTAs and in the minicamp. Everything.
But who was throwing it to him? Was it Jason Campbell?
Jason Campbell.
Or was, you know how sometimes
I know.
They got the ex-coach throwing. It's like the home run derby. You got some old man behind a cage. Oh, hit this out of the park.
I have him as a 19th rounder.
19th
rounder. No, 19. And you can get him in the 19th round, and he becomes the wide receiver 2 on your team. And, wow, your value draft man personified.
There you go. Now,
right?
ladies and gentlemen, before we get to even more ugliness, this is the reason that we want these Facebook correspondents, because even though the guy caught 9 balls last year, there's going to be our Oakland Facebook correspondent that's going to give us
Where's
juice.
that season ticket holder who follows the Raider Nation? I want that guy from the pit. I want that guy from the
with the spikes and all that
yeah. I
stuff.
want that guy with the face paint. I want that guy to call me up and
You know
be
what?
like, "Hey, this is what's going on with Darius Hayward-Bay. That guy's a bust." I see him every Sunday. And I'm tired of watching him drop footballs when it matters.
Speaking of correspondence, on the line on 877-242-8212, ladies and gentlemen. This guy, you're going to need him because he's got to decipher that wildcat, that wackiness that's down in Miami. Chris, are you there?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, how you doing, Chris? Welcome to the show. It's nice to have our Miami correspondent here.
Do you know the words, Chris?
Do I know the word?
Do you know the words to this song?
We'll play it again.
There it is. You can do the chorus. Here we go.
Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins #1.
Oh God, this is like
Nice.
This is like going to Koreatown and listening to karaoke there. That was brutal. But excellent job being our Miami correspondent.
What can you tell us about? We were going to get into Miami. I was going to bust on Ted Ginn Jr. But instead of doing that, what can you tell us about what's going on with Brandon Marshall and the wide receiver situation? Who's going to be the number 2 there? Get us up to date on previewing the wide receivers for Miami Dolphins, Chris.
Well, I'll tell you, Brandon Marshall, it looks like he's going to be fine. It's been, known. He's had a couple minor procedures like this before the last 2 seasons, and he still put out great numbers. And actually, something people might not know is that the Dolphins aren't in on any guaranteed money on Brandon Marshall until after this season. He's playing this 1 year on the qualifier, so he's really got to be on top behavior, make sure he's not throwing any diva trips or anything like that. So I think he's going to have a good year, and believe it or not, I think Chad Henning's probably the best quarterback he's had up until now.